morning, Santa Clarita. Happy Friday. Welcome in. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 1220 AM and 98.1 FM. This is SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley. I'm your host, Matt Watson. It is Friday, February 28th, traditionally the last day of February, but not this year. That's right, we get extra February this year. 2020 is a leap year, the year with 3.5% more February. It's like daylight saving time, only you don't get an extra hour of sleep. We don't even get an extra day this weekend. The only thing you get is a one-day reprieve on your car payment. Leap year is just a reminder that even though the Julian calendar has been around for over 2,000 years, it's still like the clock in your car that loses a few minutes every couple of months. So once every 4 years, we recalibrate it while we're sitting at the red light. And today, as a public service announcement, I want to remind all of our listeners that if you were born on February 29th, 1980, you will not be turning 10 years old tomorrow. That's not how years work, so stop it. Anyways, welcome back to Eye on the Valley, brought to you by SCVi Charter School, the Santa Clarita Valley's only comprehensive transitional kindergarten through 12th grade school. That's right, we are the only school in Santa Clarita Valley where your child can attend 13 or even 14 years in a row. We are a free public charter school just off of Newhall Ranch Road in the north end of the valley. Eye on the Valley comes to you every Friday morning at 9 a.m. as we look ahead to the weekend and into what's going on in the valley at SCVi and our other iLead schools. We are in the midst of an election window right now. That's right, we have a window, not just one day to vote. Have you voted? Remember, you don't have to wait until Tuesday to vote this year. Polls throughout LA County are open already. So if you've got plans that won't allow you to vote on Tuesday, like me, get out there this weekend and vote. I'm looking forward to the flexibility that lets us vote at any polling place. So tomorrow I think I'm going to be heading out to Santa Clarita Park, some of you know it as Robot Park, to cast my ballot. We've got a lot of important initiatives and positions that we're voting on this year, so if you haven't done so already, get out there and vote. We've got a couple days left. But we're not talking politics today. That was last month. Today we are talking sports. In fact, my guest and I have already been chopping it up since before the show started. Sports is one of my favorite topics, and I'm joined in studio today by Ken Erenberg, SCVi's athletic director. He's been with us for just a few years now, and he's already taking our sports programs to new heights. He's had an incredible career even before he came to us that has spanned professional competition, broadcasting, and coaching just about every sport. That's right, Ken Erenberg had pretty much played every sport that was available to him as a kid. I'm just wondering if he threw the hammer on the high school curling team. He is a local boy, attending El Camino Real High School, and then heading out to southern Indiana to the University of Evansville, just north of the Ohio River. He then finished up his collegiate career at CSUN, a fellow Matador like myself. Ken also played professional soccer and covered sports for ABC. And he's been coaching now for 27 years. Good morning, Ken. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Matt. I'm feeling very old after that introduction.
Well, 27 years is a long time to be doing anything. But you're still a young man and had quite the illustrious career. So let's talk about it. Before we get started on SCVi sports, you played pro soccer. Who'd you play for?
Well, this is the funny story. To me, it's like Robert Wall, who's a big-time sports guy himself and comedian, sure. Had a show on, and it was about fiction versus fact. And how it grows.
Okay.
And I know, and that's, to me, it's pretty funny. Like, I was an alternate for the 1988 Olympic Games. It just didn't say what number alternate I was. So if 23 guys had gotten hurt in 1988, I would have gotten to go to the Olympic Games.
All right, nice.
The professional soccer team, I played for a team owned by the singer Rod Stewart.
Great.
And it was franchised basically as a minor league system to Manchester United.
All right.
And there were two semi-professional soccer teams, both owned by British teams, that were located in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I played on those teams for about 3 years.
All right.
Had a lot of success and was all ready to make the jump to the next level. And, sadly, like many people, I decided to turn my knee and blow my Achilles. And, 4 or 5 surgeries later, it was, we're done.
Worst decision of your career.
That's why I always tell everyone I should have stayed playing football and just been a kicker. Had that long career of just kicking the ball and walking off the field.
There you go. That league minimum ain't bad either. That ain't bad. So you played for Rod Stewart. That's great. So if you want my money and you play great defense, come on, Kenny, let me know.
Ooh, good one.
And then, so you covered sports for ABC. Were you a sideline reporter, or how did you cover sports for them?
At ABC, I worked for KBC Los Angeles in the early 90s, and it was a great time, first of all, to be in your early 20s and be working sports. And I started off just working the sports desk.
Okay.
Basically, talk about a great job to be finishing up college and being told, you're going to get paid to watch 7 different TV screens at the same time and just log down the highlights of those 7 different screens that you're watching.
Absolutely.
So multitasking.
Most of us call that a great weekend.
It was. And then, later on I moved up a bit. I started doing a lot of field producing. The LA Raiders.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah,
LA, not Oakland or Las Vegas. LA Raiders. I would do all the sideline footage for that.
Oh,
and
nice.
It was great to be on the sidelines back when Howie Long was playing.
Yeah.
And those, the glory days almost of the Raiders.
Sure, yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. And I would, go out and do the shoots. And we bring a lot of it back for our show after Monday Night Football, Monday Night Live.
Okay, yeah, I remember Monday Night Live.
Back with
yeah.
Todd Donahoe,
Yeah,
who
Todd
was
Donahoe,
a Santa
yeah.
Clarita man himself for many,
Indeed.
many years.
Yeah, definitely. And now you are athletic director at SCVi. When I give tours of the school pretty often, and a lot of my guests are really quick to ask me when we get to the high school if we have a sports program. So do you guys have sports on all levels? Is this just for high school? What sports do you guys have out there?
Wow. Okay, we've got a K through 12 program.
Right.
This year we've switched. Our K through 5 program is now in-house.
Okay.
So, which gives us actually a lot more ability to be flexible. And if we have kids that only want to do certain sports, we could even repeat sports.
Oh, okay.
And it's gone great. I was actually a little bit nervous about switching because originally our K through 8 was in the Scale League, which I was a creator of,
Okay.
which is the Santa Clarita Athletic Independent League,
Mhm.
which is us as well as 9 other schools
Okay.
that compete in all different sports. And we're still competing that in the middle school. In fact, I'm going to
All right.
digress a little bit here.
Go ahead.
Our middle school flag football team just won the championship the other day.
Fantastic.
And it was,
Congratulations.
oh, it was we played the Palmdale Aerospace Academy, who's new to our league.
Wow.
And it was an incredible game. We won by a safety
No way.
in flag football.
What
It
an
was-
exciting game.
Oh yeah, our coach Nolan, who was our PE coach,
Uh-huh.
was just could not believe the fact because we started off the season with only 2 wins.
Okay.
And like many of our sports that I'll be talking about in a minute, had great, just forward movement.
Sure.
Just improvement as the season progressed, and we went all the way to the finals to win.
Fantastic. That's great coaching to get kids to be able to grow like that. And that's the obviously the goal of all school level sports is for kids to have the opportunity to play and learn and grow. But that is truly the measure of a good coach when you start out really slow and the kids grow into that. I met Nolan at our new facilitator training, and he's not only a fantastic guy and terrific coach, he's a great educator. He's terrific with the kids.
And what I loved about being the athletic director, I try to get to as many sporting events as I can.
Sure.
Not just to watch the coaches so I can sit there and take notes on them,
Right.
but also just to see how the kids are progressing, as you said. And after the championship game, to me, the biggest testament of Nolan's success was every kid wanted to take a picture with Coach Nolan
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
the trophy.
That is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's that thing over your head.
So that was wonderful. So our other sports that we have, our middle school, we're going into our indoor soccer season right now,
Very cool.
which is a lot of fun, and you don't have to worry about that 105-degree weather
Right.
in May and June. And then high school, we have pretty much the gambit. We have 12 different high school varsity CIF sanctioned sports.
Right. So we're talking top level sports. This isn't just intramurals.
No.
Fantastic. So what kind of sports have you got?
For the fall, we have cross country and girls volleyball.
Okay.
And our newest sport was flag football this year,
Fantastic.
which they had a great season as well. A lot of fun to watch that.
I know that the guys have been asking for football pretty much since we opened our doors in 2008. That's probably the toughest sport to get on a high school, especially one of our size. We've only got a couple hundred high schoolers, but that's great that the guys are out there able to get out there and play flag football.
Yeah, and it's against. We have 8 different high schools that are also in this flag football league. So
Terrific.
so it's still great. They have so much fun doing it. And again, I got to go to 3 or 4 of the games this year, and I had a ball just watching them.
Okay,
so
cool.
It was wonderful. And then in the winter, which we just completed.
Just finished the winter season.
We have soccer and basketball, and I'm going to brag a little bit again, if I may.
Well, if you've got reason to brag, go for it.
I do. Soccer, for the second straight year, we've been co-ed. And for the second straight year, competing in the boys varsity high school level, we've made the CIF playoffs.
Okay, walk that back a little bit. So you've got a co-ed team that's competing at the boys varsity level. So you've got young ladies on your team that are out there really, really cutting it up with the guys.
Oh, yeah. And,
wow,
and
fantastic.
These girls are fearless.
Yeah, well, they got to be,
yeah. And it's great to watch. And again, the fact 2 years in a row now we've made the CIF playoffs.
Fantastic.
I mean, that's talk about growth of the program. And then speaking of growth, the boys basketball team, which I was fortunate enough to coach this year.
Great.
Yeah, it was something new for me. I hadn't coached high school basketball in about 8 years. So, getting back into it.
Nice.
And we had the best record in the school's history this year.
All right. Yeah, I understand you guys finished in first place.
We finished in third.
Third place.
Third place.
Somebody told me you guys finished in first.
But
okay.
but we did qualify for the CIF playoffs because of that.
Right.
Well, what you'd probably heard is we had won 6 straight games to finish the season.
Oh, okay.
We started
Finished on a run.
We started off 2-5.
Wow.
And I nicknamed the kids, as you've heard the term used before, the cardiac kids.
Right.
And I use the term cardiac because I felt like I might have been going into cardiac arrest because 5 of the wins were come from behind wins. 1 was in overtime.
Wow.
2 were to teams that we have never beaten in high school basketball.
Wow.
So they were all great victories. And I'm going to, if I may, real quick, we just got the all-league announcements in.
Oh, fantastic.
So
all league announcements for all winter sports or just basketball?
For all the winter sports.
Let's
so
hear it.
I'd love to read off, these kids who are so deserving.
Please.
Aiden Couric made first team all-league. Aiden Couric also was named Max Prep's National Player of the Week for January 9th.
National Player of the Week.
Yep.
For January 9th. There's more than a couple of kids in this country playing soccer. That is quite an accomplishment. Fantastic. I've seen Aiden. I've seen him play. I've seen some family members play. He's got it in his blood, but he's a phenomenal player. Works very hard.
And he's the type of kid that his play and his enjoyment of the game, it's contagious.
Yeah.
And it shows on the field. He wants everyone involved. And that's really what helped bring the team.
Very
and
cool.
as a team captain, that's what you're looking for.
Congratulations, Aiden. What else you got?
I got Kenny Blasberg, who's a sophomore this year.
You're kidding. Kenny Blasberg was in my class in 4th grade. He's a sophomore already.
Yes.
All right.
And Ethan Sweat, who is a sophomore as well.
Okay.
And then second team all-league, we had senior Adam Simpson, who's the Energizer Bunny.
Yes, he is.
He participates in every sport you can imagine. I think he's participated in 4 sports already at SCVi. On
top of IB courses, he's also traveled to Puerto Rico to help clean up after the hurricane.
And is a working actor.
He does it all. Wow.
So Adam made second team. Morgan Pay, I hate to phrase it, one of our young ladies. But it should be noticed for a boys varsity soccer league, as this reads, Morgan made second team all league, and that's just phenomenal.
Congratulations, Morgan.
And then finally, Giovanni Figueroa, who has always been stuck playing goalie and defense, and this year he was pretty much stuck doing the same, but still scored 4 goals this year for the team. So
behind the goal box, huh?
So he likes to run up a lot.
Okay, there we go.
So soccer again, very successful season. Ben Williams was the coach of the team, and Ben is one of the favorite facilitators on our campus.
Ben's a good time at a funeral.
Yes, I would phrase it that way. Ben is just fun, period. Yes, and again, another Energizer Bunny. He's always got that extra steam. And then in boys basketball, we had Zaire Bean, a senior, who was our leading scorer the last 2 years.
Oh, wow.
DeJuan Robinson, this is his first year playing with the team. He's a junior, almost averaged a triple-double per game.
Jeez, you're kidding.
Yeah, he was exceptional. And then his little brother, Dominic, made second team all-league, and he's a freshman. And Dominic put fear into everybody. He averaged 6 steals a game. So the kids were, we got to watch this kid. He's all over the place.
All right.
So that's my bragging about our winter sports.
Nice. Good job. Guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that is phenomenal. And you said you offer a dozen sports. We've got spring sports coming up that we'll talk about in a little bit. But out at SCVi, especially with being a smaller school, it is such a a warm, inviting school where everybody really knows each other, but it can make developing teams a challenge at times. So how do you guys determine what teams to offer?
Well, first off, my philosophy as being the athletic director is sharing is caring.
Okay.
We need to share our athletes. There are so many schools
Sure.
that really have, you can play one sport and that's it. And
Okay.
we believe at SCVi that you can play multiple sports. Get the opportunity to play, to find out what you really enjoy, and you don't get burned out on that one sport.
Right.
So to me, that's really more important. So,
Okay.
that's really our philosophy is everyone gets an opportunity to play. We don't do cutting
Great.
of any players, and we just want the kids to get out there.
Okay. Okay, and so kids are encouraged to play multiple sports. I know kids are also not only encouraged, man, they don't need the encouragement. They're the ones oftentimes that are starting the sports.
Absolutely. 2 years ago, swimming. A
Okay.
bunch of the kids came up to me and said, Coach, can we get a swim team going? And last year we were very successful. And this year, our coach, Erica Cedeno, just told me they've only had 3 practices so far, but they've got more kids than they've ever seen out there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And then we've got golf as well. And that was the same thing where a couple of the kids said, Coach, we need a golf team. And we said, how many of you want to play? Let's do it.
Yeah.
And now we're CIF Golf.
It's really a beautiful type of initiative. I remember when I was the director out there, kids came to us and said, we want to play baseball. I said, all right, give me 9. They came to us with 8. We said we can't do baseball with 8. So the following year they came back with 15, some of whom who had never played before and really wanted to step into the opportunity. That is beautiful, Coach. That's so exciting. We are talking with Ken Erenberg this morning, Athletic Director at SCVi Charter School. We do have to take a short break, but please stay tuned. When we come back, we will continue talking SCVi sports. We'll also chop it up a little bit about those cheating Astros, Tom Brady, and some of the other hot topics in sports. You're listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley. I'm your host, Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS.
Why do people from all over Santa Clarita come to our spa in Canyon Country? Simple. They want the highest quality services at prices that everyone can afford. This is Rosemary from Beyond Harmony Med Spa. Read our reviews and know why we won the Ultimate Beauty Awards 2 years in a row by the readers of Elite magazine. Come and see how close we really are and experience the level of excellence that our clients have loved for the past 13 years. Go to beyondharmony.com or call 298-8008 today for a free consultation.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
At iLead Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLead Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit iLeadAguaDulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLead Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
You already know Salt Creek Grill has the best food in our valley. Well, now you can have Salt Creek's gourmet meals catered to your event.
I'm Greg Amsler, owner of Salt Creek Grill. I'd like to introduce you to a new level of catering, featuring our catering director, Tamara Levine.
Salt Creek Grill creates memorable experiences, which leaves our clients and guests with a sense of awe and excitement. From menu development to picturesque presentation, you'll enjoy culinary excellence and creative catering.
Salt Creek Grill, a new level of catering.
You see so much when you look at your child. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. Curiosity that develops into exploring unique passions. A little leader growing every day to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make their mark on the world. At SCVi, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free K-12 charter school gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a customized learning program built around each individual student. As iLead's founding school, SCVi combines an immersive approach to traditional subject learning with extracurricular activities including STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. SCVi has the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, with a 10-year proven track record of graduates excelling at top universities. And we're in your backyard, just off the 5 freeway in West Santa Clarita Valley in Castaic. For enrollment information or to learn more about our program, including homeschool options, visit iLeadSantaClarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station. 1220 on the AM dial and 98.1 FM. I'm Matt Watson, your host, and you're listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley. We're talking sports this morning with Ken Erenberg, Athletic Director at SCVi, home of the Mighty Stallions. Ken, we spent the first break talking about SCVi sports, all the different individual and team accolades. You already had quite an accomplished athletic season this year, and we're just starting to head into the spring season. So, Ken, what's on tap for spring? What sports have we got coming up?
Well, again, being a small school, Matt, I've already been thrown a little twist in my plans.
All right, you better be flexible. Yeah,
that's the whole idea. We've had, for the last 2 years, 2 undefeated softball teams that have won league championships.
Undefeated, fantastic.
It was great, and I was planning to start the year with a 3rd possible league championship.
Yeah.
And sadly, we had 9 girls come out for softball, so we could have stretched it to get a team on.
Okay.
And in baseball, we had 8 guys come out for baseball.
Okay.
So again, being flexible, guys can't play on softball teams, girls can play on baseball teams.
All right.
So we are now a co-ed baseball team.
Fantastic. I love that that you flex with the need and honestly, kind of the desires of the kids. It's we field what the kids want, and that's not only true in sports, but also those of us that are close to the school know, like in our elective classes, we survey our kids to figure out what electives they want, and we bring in experts to teach those classes. So that's cool. So now we've got a co-ed baseball team.
We have the only co-ed baseball team in the area.
Fantastic.
And our first game is on Tuesday.
All right. Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah, we're ready.
Fantastic. All right. Who do you guys play on Tuesday? Do you know?
Trinity Classical.
Okay.
So a very good team that went to I believe
club,
they played in the semifinals last year. So
all right. Good luck,
right
Stallions.
off the bat.
Here's to a good season. Any other spring sports coming up?
Oh yeah, we've got our first golf match coming up next week, and
Terrific.
Swim. What they're doing with our swim league, we participate in the Heritage League for swimming, because the Omega League, which is our league for everything else, does not carry swim.
Oh,
so
all right.
Again, being flexible, I had to run around and find a league that we could participate in.
All right.
And they're actually having a fun swim meet to start the year, which I thought was a great idea.
That's cool. Kind of like what we call friendlies in soccer.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and they're doing some goofy events and they're doing some serious events. But
Oh, neat.
the whole idea is to get the kids familiar with each other in the league and just to have a good time to start the season. In other words, it's not always win.
Right.
It's let's have some fun while we're doing this.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Now, being a rather small and a younger school, we're proud of our accomplishments, but we have only been open for about 12 years now. I've had some families ask me, especially when their kids compete at a little bit higher level, is SCVi registered with the NCAA? Are you guys registered with the NCAA, and what does that mean for our learners and athletes?
Well, what's funny is a lot of the parents think it means something completely different than what it really means. What it means is that they are cleared through NCAA clearinghouse. So when the college is looking for a high school athlete, in the old days, they would have to call each individual school and find out the kids' grades and find out if they're taking proper coursework for college or for a specific college.
Mm-hmm.
And now NCAA Clearinghouse, we take care of all that. We upload all of our school's information beforehand, and then if the student athlete is interested in playing a sport, usually by the beginning of their junior year or end of sophomore year,
Okay.
I'll sit down with our college counselor, Chris Nielsen, and we'll take care of the paperwork and get that all uploaded onto the NCAA Clearinghouse website.
All right.
And then they're good to go. And then from then on, any college can just look up their name, type it in, and they're good. We can take this kid right away. They've met all the requirements to go into college.
Fantastic. So I know they took a nice long look at at the coursework that our kids are taking and things like that. So there won't be any issues with eligibility once kids get on the field at a collegiate level. That is fantastic. Some great things going on at SCVi. But you know, you and Patty and Sarah and I were talking about it at the break. What about that gristle that's stuck in every Angelino's teeth right now, those cheating Astros? Let's talk about them. You know, baseball season's starting up. We're in spring training now. In your opinion, where does this rank, the sign-stealing scandal, among historic Major League Baseball scandals? Where do you put it in comparison to the Black Sox scandal of 1919, Pete Rose gambling not only on baseball but the teams that he was managing, the 1990s steroid era?
I'm a baseball purist. So if we talk about should there be a designated hitter, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
So that tells you where I kind of stand with some of this. I think at this point, it's worse than the steroids. I would say that it's equivalent to the Black Sox scandal. Right. And I am in belief that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame to begin with, because regardless of what he did, he still had 4,218, something like that, hits in his career. And sorry, that's Hall of Fame worthy right there.
You know, it's interesting. I agree with you 100%. I actually met Pete Rose just last year when we were at a charter school convention. And I told him, I said, Mr. Rose, you taught me how to compete. And he belongs in the Hall. Absolutely. That having been said, did you know, Ken, nowhere in the Major League Baseball rule book does it say that you're not allowed to throw the World Series. Nowhere is it in the rule book that you're not, well, it does say that you're not allowed to take steroids, but the shortest and clearest rule that exists in the Major League rule book is if you bet on baseball, you will be banned forever. That's it. It's that simple. So we're going to have some serious changes. I think our commissioner, it's about time, and I think, you know, quite honestly, he wants to get out from underneath this current scandal. What better way to do it than saying, you know what, we're going to scratch a rule, and we're going to get Charlie Hustle in the Hall.
I couldn't agree more with that, and I think that we have to look at this current Astros team. We can't go back in time. We can't take away their rings. We can't take away the bonus money that went to them instead of the Dodgers, which of course.
Right. We can't take away the what, $15, maybe $30 million that Yu Darvish is going to lose over his career behind the 2017 World Series.
Or the blemish on Clayton Kershaw's career.
Right. He will always be second to Sandy Koufax now. Yeah.
So there's a lot, but I do think that a real easy fix by our commissioner would be kind of doing what they did to Roger Maris when he broke Babe Ruth's record.
Okay.
An asterisk.
Okay.
Put an asterisk by the Astros World Series in their books, so we know forever that there was something, you know, that went wrong.
Okay. So you keep it in the record books. The 2017 World Series was won by the Houston Asterisks. That's great. I'm good with that. Now, but what do you think about what you and Patty and I were talking about during the break? Spring baseball's already started up, and it's already started. Players taking retribution on the Astros. Not only Dodgers teams, but teams from around the country. How do you feel? Where do you stand? Is it dangerous and unsportsmanlike for pitchers to be throwing at Astros hitters on purpose? Or is this an important part of baseball tradition? You are a purist of players policing themselves.
This is such a difficult question for me to come to terms with because I'm torn. As
Remember,
an athletic
you coach
director,
exactly.
And
you
as,
coach
as someone who teaches the young, I want to teach them the right way. I want the kids to be able to look at the adults and say who's acting like a child and who's acting like an adult.
Okay, that's important.
Now, going to the other side of the game, football about 25 years ago, had a head coach who was known as being one of the best defensive coordinators of all time for the '85 Bears. That was Buddy Ryan.
Yeah.
And Buddy Ryan, when he was the coach of the Eagles, if you recall, put out bounties.
I remember,
and someone got a lot of money for knocking Troy Aikman out of a game.
Yeah.
And
Sean Payton lost a season for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, they, of course, that's been outlawed.
Right.
So, of course, if I'm going to say I'm following the rules, no, you don't throw at these guys. On the other hand, as a baseball purist, what are you supposed to do to, and we hate to use the term get even,
Right.
but we do want to say to make things right.
Okay.
And these guys did cheat.
Sure.
And I feel that the rest of Major League Baseball is letting them know right now, we're not okay with this.
Right.
And they're doing it the only way that they can, which is taking it out on them on the field. I was surprised how many times they've hit people already this year.
Already. Yeah, there's probably a reason that they don't let me coach youth athletics anymore. But like yourself, I'm a purist. If the guy shows you up and watches his 420-foot bomb go, then he's going to wear it the next time he's up. And if you don't like it, hey, rush the mound. I'd love to see Jose Altuve rush the mound against Clayton Kershaw and see what's up.
Isn't that about a 1.5 foot difference in height, Matt?
Yeah, well, play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Ken?
Well, or you could always have someone, as soon as someone hits a home run from now on, they throw water directly on them. Because if they're wearing an electronic device, they'll get electrocuted.
Hey, there we go. Hit him with the Gatorade. All right.
The man has a point.
Very cool. I want to take a step back. I wanted to get into the NFL combine and draft and things that are going on and things like that. But we're getting a question on Facebook Live. One of our listeners is asking about our high school sports at SCVi. Asking about 8th graders participating in high school sports. Is that something that we can allow as a school? Is that something that the CIF would allow for an 8th grader to participate on a high school level in a CIF sport?
I've had so many parents come up and say to me, my 8th grade son is 6'5". Obviously he'd probably be a starting center on our basketball team.
Sure.
But CIF rules restrict. You have to be in 9th through 12th grade to participate in any high school sport.
Okay. All right, interesting. But ever expanding the middle school sports, there's still an opportunity for them to compete, learn, hone their craft, and then dominate even further once they finally do get into high school.
Yes.
Fantastic. We've got another question coming in. They're pouring in on Facebook Live. I'm glad to see it. And if you guys have got questions, please jump on Facebook Live and send them to us. We've got a family asking about a bicycling team, a bike team at SCVi. Is that something that the kids have been talking about, something that you've heard about or had in the works?
This is actually a first for me.
Okay.
CIF does not currently have a cycling program.
All right.
However, as you know, I love to do, we could start a bicycle club.
Okay.
And see where it goes. If it grows, then I can go ahead and petition CIF.
Okay.
To start a cycling program.
That's what's beautiful about our school and the philosophy. I absolutely love that. Whether it's in sports or I remember the first year I started, the question had to do with a school cafeteria versus ordering our lunches out. When the question or the suggestion comes up, the answer is almost always yes. Now, you've got to be willing to do it, but yes, and one of our families learned that the hard way in 2011. Why don't we open up a cafeteria? They call it the cafe, where we serve fresh food. And the answer that the boss gave the parent was, yes, here's the key, good luck. And the same thing with, a lot of our athletics.
We can make it happen.
Fantastic.
That's the bottom line.
Terrific. That's good to hear. So I mentioned the NFL, the combine. The NFL combine is in full swing. It amazes me that people actually will take a day off of work and sit and watch professional athletes run 40 yards. But it sparks the talk, and it just reminds us that we really do, as a society, we need the NFL 12 months throughout the year, and it's already sparked up the quarterback carousel talk. So with Phillip Rivers officially out of San Diego and looking around and considering retirement, and Tom Brady entering free agency and rumors about all different kinds of quarterbacks moving around, it's really interesting. So what do you think? Do you think we're going to see Rivers headed to Indianapolis, Tom Brady throwing it in Las Vegas? Is Cam Newton going to be begging for a job? Is Dak Prescott's agent going to prove that he is the worst agent ever by encouraging him to leave Dallas? where do you see these guys moving, or is it much ado about nothing and everybody's going to land right back where they were last season?
No, Matt, I think the answer is put it really simple for you. Yes. No, I think Tom Brady, he has family in Vegas. It makes sense for him to go to Vegas. However, Jameis Winston, they've been talking about going to Vegas because he plays old Al Davis football, which is Jameis Winston throws the deep ball.
Right.
Phillip Rivers has a house in Tampa, in Florida.
Right.
So Phillip Rivers could end up in Tampa Bay. So right now I think, as you said, that carousel is going around. I am one of those silly people. I didn't take the day off from work, but from 11 to midnight last night, I was watching a retape of the Combine.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how their idea, Tua, who is not going to be cleared even to play until March 15th,
right,
it could move up, and that a couple other quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, who I was hoping the LA Chargers were going to take from Oregon, has actually dropped down to the 4th or 5th quarterback spot.
Right.
So even daily, the colleges quarterbacks are flipping, and the pro quarterbacks, all speculation. So basically, let's all throw them into a big soup pot and start just shaking it up and randomly picking them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's who's going to be playing for any number of about a dozen teams next year. Is it going to be Tom Brady? Is it going to be Tua Tagovailoa? And his injury history is quite interesting because I could see him moving up to being a top selection, and I could also see him dropping out of the top 5 because he's with 2 lower body surgeries already, hip problems that don't let him participate right now. It's a serious concern and certainly might be serious enough for some teams to drop him down low. Super interesting, Ken. Super exciting. I'm hoping you can stick around for our last break. We do have to take another short break for commercials, but I'd like our listeners to stick around. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation about local and national sports with SCVi Athletic Director Ken Erenberg. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley. I'm your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
Hi, this is Dr. Phil. The new coronavirus called COVID-19 is spreading in China and beyond. While CDC is working to stop the spread of the virus, we can all play a role in stopping this deadly disease. The CDC Foundation is a nonprofit organization supporting emergency response efforts in the United States and around the world. To get updates and learn how to protect friends and loved ones, find out how to help by going to cdcfoundation.org.
The city of Santa Clarita has so much going on this year. Be on the lookout for amazing events happening throughout the year, including the Cowboy Festival, concerts in the park, Thursdays at New Hall, and the Santa Clarita Marathon. There are also a number of fun activities and things to do year-round, including outdoor recreation, hiking and bike trails, adult classes, art exhibits, youth sports programs, and more. You can even sign up to be a volunteer. Learn more at santa-clarita.com.
Hi, Santa Clarita. This is Rosemary with Beyond Harmony Med Spa with some great news about Kurt Stinson. Now, why am I telling you about a plumber? When I had a horrible plumbing situation at my house, Thanksgiving morning, house full of people, of course I called Kirk. He rushed right over, took care of our problem. The prices were so reasonable, I couldn't even believe that I was paying that on Thanksgiving Day. If you need a plumber, Kirk Stinson is the guy to call.
Plumbing by Kirk, 263-6519, or visit plumbingbykirk.com.
This is Greg from Consumers Furniture Gallery. For the past 41 years, we pride ourselves on offering quality name brand furniture at unbeatable prices. We carry a huge selection of dining and bedroom furniture in the latest styles and designs. We also have the largest selection of sofas and sectionals in the Santa Clarita Valley. You can choose your style, fabrics, leathers, and colors, or have one of our experts design it for you. Our mattress gallery features over 50 beds featuring Diamond and Serta. Consumers Furniture is located in the Centerpoint Shopping Center below Sam's Club and Walmart.
You could be launching your rewarding career with one of Santa Clarita's leading defense contractors, FMI Aerostructures. Imagine creating critical airplane fighter components for our nation's defense. Be on the cutting edge of advanced technologies and get the skills needed to make our defense your career. We offer career paths for beginners and professionals. FMI Aerostructures, one of Santa Clarita's largest employers since 1978.
Find out about our 4-credit mentorship programs through College of the Canyons and the William S. Hart High School District. Visit fmiscv.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 1220 on the AM dial and FM at 98.1. This is Matt Watson, and I'm here with SCVi Charter Schools Athletic Director Ken Erenberg. You know, Ken and our engineer Patty and I have been talking more sports even during the break, and you know, I wish we could go just another couple of hours this morning. It's been a lot of fun chatting with both you guys. So I do want to throw this out actually to both you, Patty, Ken.
Yes, sir.
You guys are both sports experts and aficionados. I was having this debate with my brother just this morning as I was getting ready and coming in. So what qualifies something as a sport? What actually makes the jump from a pastime or a hobby into a sport? Does a sport require a scoreboard? Is NASCAR a sport? Can you consider yourself an athlete for turning left? Does it require offense and defense? What about bowling? Competitive Jenga? Where do we draw the line? What defines a sport?
Would you like to answer that first?
Sure. I think, in my opinion, I think what defines a sport is competition. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It can be fun competition, like whether it's you versus like your dad, you versus your sister, your mom. It's just any type of competition. I think would just kind of like that's the groundwork for developing a quote unquote sport.
All right.
In my eyes.
Yeah, and I know even we hadn't mentioned it, Ken, but we've got esports at SCVi. Kids are competing in video sports, electronic sports, and we've seen people making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in esports. What about you, Ken? What's your criteria? You're a self-proclaimed purist.
This is again a tough one for me because I'm going to sit there. I could go one way and say, well, golf, is a fun hobby. and right now I'm angering half the people in the Santa Clarita Valley by saying that. And then I could say, well, horse racing, who's the athlete? Is it the horse or the jockey? Again, now I just angered everyone over, horse racing.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's funny because we have so many sports channels now. I always joke about the movie Dodgeball, which they joked about was on the station, the Ocho.
Yeah, ESPN 8.
And we've come to the point, I think, where, the spelling bee is on ESPN.
Right.
Poker is on ESPN.
Right.
I mean, so Tiddlywinks is a competition.
Sure.
Most people, under 30 don't know what tiddlywinks are. So we could go with marbles is a competition. So
right, the sport of millennials.
Exactly. Yeah. So where would we draw the line on, what is not a competition? And now with esports, you're playing a video game, so hand-eye coordination,
right?
Which many could say not much difference with hand-eye coordination in video games as there could be in NASCAR. Although your life is, you just get shot in a video game, you can hit reset. And NASCAR, as we saw with Ryan Newman a couple weeks ago.
That was scary.
Yeah, it was very scary. And, fortunately, he was able to walk out of the hospital from that. But so to me, I think, again, the perfect answer was given if it's competition.
Okay.
So if you want to, have a chugging contest on that Starbucks drink, let me know, and we're going, and that's a competition.
I love my coffee, and my coffee loves me. I think it's a great definition. Unfortunately for me, by that definition, golf for me is not a sport because I simply don't compete. I just can't compete. It's just a no destination walk through the jungle. So getting back to SCVi sports a little bit, I know during the break we got a question about men's volleyball. I know it's something that is a spring sport that you'd have to ramp up in about the next 8 to 12 hours. And it also competes with a lot of men's sports.
Yeah, that's really the problem. And CIF has been trying to look at all the different times that sports take place. For example, soccer used to be a fall sport, the same time as football, but they realized that a lot of schools only have one field. So they had to push soccer back into a winter sport.
Interesting, for facilities purposes.
Exactly.
Wow.
And in the spring, right now, we have baseball, we have golf, we have swimming. And so there's already so many sports that we're kind of, if we try to get volleyball going, we would need 8 to 10 players who wanted to play. Now, I'm not going to say no. You know that, Matt.
The answer
I'll
is
never
always
say
yes.
no. Yes, the answer
Send me a
is
team
always
and
yes.
we'll play, yeah.
So if we can get enough players for next year's team, then, my response to that person who sent that email in is absolutely, we can.
Fantastic. With just a couple hundred kids, it's tough. It's a smaller pool to draw from. But yeah, I would love to see the day where every learner at SCVi participates in one sport or another throughout the calendar year.
My dream.
That would be great.
Oh, that would be
great. You've been a coach for a long time, and you work with kids not only on the field but also in the classroom and working on keeping them on the straight and narrow. So people often ask about the benefits of sports for kids. What qualities have you noticed that sports develop in our kids?
Oh, just team building skills alone. I think communication, team building, really everything that you would need to be able to succeed in life comes from athletics and being a part of a team.
Yeah.
So I just think that alone helps carry you forward for the rest of your life.
Yeah, a lot of 21st century learning skills taking place out there on the soccer field or in the gym and things like that. One of the coolest things, or selfishly as an adult, when we're coaching, I used to coach my son's basketball team when he was little, is the opportunity to impart a little bit into kids, to be a bit of a mentor, a role model. So what's your take? NBA legend Charles Barkley famously said that it's not his job to be a role model, raise your own kid, etc. Where do you stand on role models? Should kids be looking up to pro athletes, or is that more your job as an educator, the parent's job to provide a role model?
I think nowadays we have a serious lack of role models when we see what so many of what our adults are doing right now in society. So I think anywhere we can find someone that we can look up to and model ourselves after in a positive way is really the way to go. And it doesn't have to be an athlete. I'm wearing right now a Brooks Robinson jersey because he was my hero growing up in Maryland.
Yeah.
And, why was he my hero? Well, he played 20 plus years for the same team, never considered being traded to another team because he had that feeling of, I need to be here. I'm a part of this, not just this team, not just the franchise, but the family of the whole city.
Right.
And you see it today. There are people today that are great people to look up to, but we don't, as a society, publicize them enough. David Ortiz, Big Papi.
Sure.
Has put millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of hours of his own time to give to the Boston community. And there are so many athletes like that, and we don't talk about them enough. We talk more about what Cam Newton was wearing at his press conference instead of how many different organizations Drew Brees has right now. And Drew Brees, great family man, and
it's a great guy.
Again,
You're right.
we don't pub the positives of athletes, and you could go further, not just athletes, but just people in society in general.
Sure.
We look at so much more of the negatives, and I think there are so many athletes that we could look up to, but instead, a lot of the kids only hear about the thug life in professional sports.
Right, and those, unfortunately, like any other sector of our society, it's that negative news that tends to get the headlines faster than other things. We talked about some of the guys making some questionable decisions last year in sports. In fact, one of the most talked about football players in the NFL last year didn't play more than a couple of snaps, Antonio Brown, right? And just kind of piddled away what should have been an illustrious Hall of Fame and record-breaking career on his own. And you're right, he got talked more about than Drew Brees, who's breaking all-time records and celebrating with his daughters on the field. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, it was wonderful to see that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And again, I wish we would just sit there and focus on that a lot more.
Right. So even if it doesn't catch the headlines, though, we can still get out there and influence our circle of the next generation of kids. So if you are a phenomenal basketball player or a phenomenal accountant, you can get out there and touch the life of the kids around you and help mentor some kids, whether it's at the Boys and Girls Club here around the corner, or if you're a big brother, big sister, or just a fantastic uncle, dad, educator, volunteer tutor, somebody that coaches basketball out at the sports center on the weekends. You just pour into the life of a kid. That's so important. We do just have a couple more minutes, but before we go, I want to open this up just really quickly. Give me a quick snippet to Patty and to Ken. Any hot takes? Is Mookie Betts a lock for the NL batting title this year? Luka Doncic, is he going to win the next 7 MVPs? What have you got? Any hot take for our listeners that they can take to the bank this weekend?
Ooh.
That's a tough one. How about Dodgers will make it to the World Series this year?
I think so.
I'm not going to say win it.
All right.
but they will make it to the World
And
Series.
make it
this year.
interesting.
Yeah, and I think Mookie, just the fact that you look at that Dodger lineup, this is probably one of the best lineups in baseball history right now.
Yeah. My hot take, I'll go on the basketball side. I'm going to say that the next 7 years, it's going to be mixed between Giannis and Luka. Whoever outdoes the other.
But will Giannis end up on Golden State is the question, or playing in New York?
He doesn't end up in Golden State. He may end up somewhere else, though. I'm unsure of right now, but definitely not Golden State.
I would love to see Giannis, like yourself, Ken. I'm a purist. I'd love to see him start and finish his career there in Milwaukee. But yeah, it's great to see that new generation of young basketball studs coming up. So, unfortunately, Ken, we do have to wrap up, but I want to thank you for stopping by and chatting with me this morning. I'm sure the conversation's going to continue out into the parking lot. Just so much fun. So those of you that are listening, if you're interested in your child attending SCVi to play on the amazing teams that we have, or to get involved in some of the phenomenal projects that our kids are doing, we've talked about it just about every week, but we've got kids sending experiments to the International Space Station. We've got kids out there making a difference themselves, even as early as 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, getting involved in their community and making a difference. If you're interested in your child attending SCVi, we are enrolling for next year. Please go to our website. It is ileadsantaclarita.org, or you can call 661-705-4820, 661-705-4820 to learn more. You can sign up for a tour. You can even schedule a shadow day where your child attends one day at our school to kind of kick the tires and give us a test drive, see how it goes for them. I want to thank you again, Ken and Patty, for joining us this morning.
Our pleasure.
Of course.
We will see you next time. I want to invite you all back. You are listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley. I'm your host, Matt Watson, with Ken Erenberg. We've been sportsing it up this morning here on your hometown station, KHTS.